Okay folks, so here we are out in the Bahamas here at Manjack. You can see out here, man, I just love it out here. It's just gorgeous. And today I really want to talk about, this is our Monday video where we're instructional video where we help you guys, anybody out there dreaming or thinking about doing stuff like this. And today I want to talk about two subjects real quick. One is the actual check-in to the Bahamas. It was super easy and super quick, and it really didn't take any time at all. Later on in the video, we're going to talk about our anchor and how important that anchor is, and then show you our actual anchor and all the stuff that we have for our anchor and what we spent money on and what we didn't. Okay, so as far as checking into the Bahamas, all we did was the click and check, and I'll link a video down here. I'm not the technical guy that's going to get involved with showing you exactly how to fill out the form and all that stuff, but you basically just fill out the form. And the only thing that you really got to get really right on it is your entry port. So we knew we were coming into Old West End, and when we got there, we just called them on the radio and said, hey, this is a Southern Estate, we're checking in. And they said, that's fine, we'll get you a slip, and they signed us a slip. And so then we went in there and put the boat into the slip, and then he said, just walk over to the customs office. The only thing I had to have with me when I went to the customs office was our two passports, the passports for everybody on the boat. That was it. And then I needed the PCR number. That was it. And I had my form, obviously, but really that's all I needed is the PCR number. Then they printed the forms for me, and then they gave them to me in duplicate. They gave me a fishing license, and they gave me my form, and everything was signed off. It cost $300, and that's the only thing that was said. No, they didn't come out and inspect the vessel. Nothing, no, they didn't ask any questions about insurance. They didn't ask anything about anything. It cost $300 to do it, and we didn't have to give them any money. I've heard this stuff on Facebook where, you know, when I went to check in at customs, they charged me this fee and this fee and that fee. But if you do it through the click and check, it was just the click and check fee. You're going to get your license, and you're going to get your fishing license. And there's a 90-day cruising permit. You're allowed to come and go as much as you want in that 90 days. You just got to check in and out. All right. So today's subject is our windlass. What did we do for our windlass, and what do we like about our windlass? I think this is a subject that's overlooked a lot. And when you're buying a boat, especially one of these 40-year-old trawlers, you want to make sure that you have a good windlass system. If the boat doesn't have a windlass system, be prepared to spend actually quite a bit of money. These windlasses are not cheap. I would believe the windlass that I have on this boat would probably cost well over probably $7,500 for the windlass. We have a LaFrance 1200 watt, and I love this windlass. I'm going to show it to you right now. So this is our bad boy right here. It carries 3/8 inch chain. I have a place to come over here on the rope, or I can just use the chain right here. We have 300 feet of chain on this boat. We always pretty much let out about 70 feet of chain every time we go to anchor. And you can see right here, I have several different ways to deploy the windlass. And this is one right here, and this is up or down. Doesn't matter, that's how I deploy the windlass. And so it makes it super, super easy. A lot of them will have the foot pedals. We have the remote right here, and then I'll show you the switch, have a station up at the helm where I can help Pete. Sometimes you'll see him out on front of the boat, and he doesn't have this remote switch in his hand, so then I will just flick the button up or down. Man, look at this anchor, it's just absolutely gorgeous in here. But it's a subject that a lot of people will overlook. One of the things that we did on the boat preparing to come over here to the Bahamas was our chain was old. So especially, you know, most people don't sell boats because they're ready to go. Some of them do. And one of those rare situations that it happens for you and they're serious about selling it, and they just replace the chain. I mean, congratulations. That's a nice, it's a huge benefit. But our chain on this, and we knew that the owner had an actual chain on it, and he had the brand new chain, but we never got hooked up, and I never ended up going to get it. So it's one of the things that actually cost us $1,000. I found it on eBay, this chain right here. And one of the things I'll do to this chain once we get back and we're not anchoring anymore is I will rinse it off with fresh water before I put it away for the season to help preserve it and keep it maybe an extra few years, because the chain is very, very expensive. Like I said, we spent, I think it was like $1,100 putting a new chain on this windlass. And also the next piece that I had to replace on the windlass was this part right here. I don't know what it's called, but it's the brake or whatever. And that's what hauls the chain in. So between this and this, our old chain was wore out. And so these pieces would slip right here, and it would make it hard to pull the chain up and down. So it's something that we felt like we needed to fix before we came out here. We've been out here now for 70 days, and out of those 70 days, we've only been in the marinas for 14 of them, so the rest of it's all been on the hook. So this chain and windlass goes up and down every single day. So I don't know how important you guys would feel that or think that is, but it's very, very important. Another thing that we have, and I have the switch up at the helm, is we have a washdown pump right here. And that washdown pump, I mean, if your boat doesn't come with it, a lot of boats do, especially these bigger boats, but some of them don't. And it just makes it so much easier, because here in the Bahamas, we haven't had one issue yet of coming up with a dirty chain. But over in the States, I can tell you right now, every time we pull the chain up, you have to turn this pump on. And you got to rinse all the mud and crud off of these chains, just because it's horrible. So having a good washdown pump, having a good anchor, we have a you know, it doesn't have to be a brand new anchor. You know, Mantis is always you know, good stuff. And I'll show you my Mantis hook, because even though I would love to have a Mantis bridle, even though I'd love to have a Mantis bridle, I don't, but I do use the hook off of their bridle, and you can see it down there in the water. So, and all we do is use our dock lines and hook it to the Mantis hook, and that's what keeps the boat and the pressure off of the windlass right here. So I suggest, at the very least, you know, like I said, if I could afford it and money was no object, I would have the whole harness. But that, you know, again, I think it's over like $700. And so we just use our dock lines, and we use the Mantis hook. Mantis makes a good product. They make good anchors, and you know, make sure you guys have the proper anchor for your boat, and even overdo it. You know, like you know, a 1/4-inch chain on a 40-foot boat, you know, that's something you might want to look at and address, because, you know, is that big enough to hold, you know, a 40,000-pound boat in 30 knots of wind? Or would you rather have this 3/8 chain? I can tell you right now, when the wind's blowing and howling and things aren't going exactly perfect, I think this chain looks small. But when I'm installing the chain, I think it looks big, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't think your chain can be big enough, and I don't think your windlass can be big enough when you're out here looking at these boats to purchase or to buy. So anyway, I'm going to end today's video. First of all, I want your comment down below. What kind of windlass do you have on your boat? And leave the comments for everybody, you know, telling us your experience with your windlass and stuff like that, and how important it is or unimportant it is. Because if all you're doing is going out and, you know, you're doing America's Great Loop and you're going to anchor 1 or 2 times, I mean, you don't need to spend a lot of money on your anchor. But if you're going to be like what I consider an off-grid boater, you're going to want a nice windlass setup, and you're going to want a nice chain, and it's probably not a good area to spare or save money in if you don't have the proper setup. So it's something very important to look at, and look at closely when you're looking at a boat. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you leave your comment down below. Also, you know, hit that super thanks to anybody feeling it. I do appreciate it. We're out here in the Bahamas. We're here for about another 2 weeks. We're actually going to start making the corner now and start heading back around in the Albacos here, and then heading over to Bimini. And so you should see a couple more weeks of videos of us in the Bahamas before we have to head back to the States there, over to Marathon, where we'll probably get jobs and get ready to do the Exumas, because I think the Exumas are going to be a lot longer trip and a much different trip. That won't be till next year now. Anyway, peace out. Thank you guys. Bye.